March 12th, 3:35 PM, flight I-390 lower deck, cargo hold. Hello everyone, Triple S back with some more Eastern Investigations Miles Edgeworth. This is going to be the last part of this case, telling about airlines. We're going to find out who did the murder, who did the smuggling, who did literally everything that has gone bad on this goddamn flight, apart from the design of those suitcases, which we know for a fact is Miss Tenero's fault, and she will be punished heavily for it in the form of feeling sad. And we feel sorry for her, and we're trying to get her off the hook for what she's been accused of, and we'll give her a hug afterwards. So, let's carry on. Miss Meal! Miss Meal! Huh? Do you recall what you said earlier? About when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Zengfar? Huh? You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible. Because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched down in Zengfar. Oh? Miss Camille. Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did? No one could make a mistake so large, Miss Meal. But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time. This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well, Miss Meal, if you please, tell me about your alibi during the time span. From just before we were to land at 3 AM and 6 AM when the body was found. Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Miss Edgeworth? Time to have an argument with this woman. Miss Meal's alibi. Oh, that's a great first statement. Thanks a lot. Yeah. From 3 to 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. Oh, yeah. And from 5 to 6, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. How is a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Meal, wake up! Ah! She fell asleep again. Looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her. So we gotta press the 5 to 6 one. Miss Meal's alibi. Okay, we don't care about that one. 3 to 4. Don't care about that. And 5 to 6. Press. So you were alone the entire time, were you? Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi. Oh, I think a contradiction just popped in to say hi. What should I do? Should I raise an objection? We raise an objection. Miss Meal, there is a clear contradiction embedded in your testimony. Huh? What are you talking about? It's not possible that you were alone in the attendant's room the whole time from 5 to 6. Because of... yeah, 5:40. I wonder if you would be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Meal. Huh? A receipt? For what? It's for the suitcase Miss Tenero bought. Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp, as you can see, it clearly says 5:40 AM. Miss Tenero! Yes! Huh? Why is the killer here? I thought you'd have her locked up by now. I requested that she be present as a witness so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Miss Tenero, between the hours of 5 and 6 AM, you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in-flight shop, correct? Yep, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase. After which, I went straight to the attendant's room to drop it off. And did you see Miss Meal there at that time? No. So, Miss Meal, where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6? Miss Camille! Huh? The bathroom? I'll be the one to ask questions here. Yeah, maybe that's it. Probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know. Do you take me for a fool? That's a little bit too convenient to be true. But it's the truth. Cross my heart. I don't have enough conclusive proof to counter-argue her at this stage. You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance and hear me out? Ah, why you have to? Reason for suspicion. Look, I know you suspected me because I'm one of the crew. But you think then maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too. She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard in the shop, you know. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. Super suspicious. I can't forget suspicious. Please leave, Mr. Nero, out of the conversation. Oh, I thought he was asking you to leave. Please leave Mr. Nero out of the conversation, thank you very much. Only you are under suspicion for now. I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda. Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I? Never mind. But you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kind of I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. Now's not the time for this sort of talk. We all know Miles Edgeworth is gay for Phoenix. I mean, we all know that, right? We all know that. The gay lawyers. We all know that, right? Anyway. We need to press a statement. She's the one in charge of the elevator key card. So where is it? She's the one in charge of the elevator key card, you know. Press. And what are you in charge of, Miss Meal? I take care of the attendance room. That doesn't count. Oh, but I spend so much time in there, it might as well be my responsibility. Miss Edgeworth, Cammy is very talented in languages. So she assists passengers who may not speak English. Especially those who speak Borginian. She's the only one on this flight who is fluent. Oh, you mean that kind of what am I in charge of? Why didn't you say so in the first place? What else could I have meant? Yes, I'm really good at Borginian. She's fluent in Borginian. And I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Borginian. Yep, I take care of anything that has to do with Borginian. Ah, very interesting. How many times do I have to say Borginian? None. Good, thank God. All I'm in charge of is tennis room and some Borginian stuff. There we go. We present the Alifred certificate. Present. So you're the only one in this flight crew that speaks Borginian. Is that correct? Oh, yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Borginia for a while. If that is the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose. To lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBlanc's statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Borginian is you, Miss Meal. Without your participation, the smuggling of the Alifred could not have occurred. Don't sleep when I'm pointing my finger at you. Uh-oh. Oh, I want to dream of falling asleep on you, Miss Edgeworth. It is exactly as you say. Are you confessing to having participated in the smuggling? No, far from it. It's true that I was the one who signed off on that document. Wait, we're going to wait, because she's blowing bubbles right now. She's using that bubble thing to make it appear as if she was sleeping by blowing the bubbles, because it's an anime thing. But nope, she's just blowing bubbles. I don't think they're really coming up well on the emulator. I think some frames are being skipped for them. Doesn't matter. But you can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. There is no direct correlation after all. Oh god, all you have is my signature on a piece of paper. Really? All you did was sign it? I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly. So sorry about that. Huh. It seems that she's finally woken up. This is going to be one tough fight. Suppose this is just a supposition. Even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that. Objection! If you were involved in the smuggling, you would have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding the smuggling ring. And just when it was about to close in, he's killed by a member of that ring. Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda is the smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things in this plane for work purposes. Ah, so perhaps there is some element to a setup at play in this case. What are you talking about? Is she going to do it again? Nah, she stopped. Oh, there we go. Wow, I tried twice and I coughed twice to do that thing. Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you, I meant the killer. First it was myself, and now it's Mr. Nero who is under the microscope. It seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can. We have no proof that Rhoda is being set up, or that she isn't. Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all of the blame for the crime onto her. And this evidence will prove my suspicions. This proves that the killer was out to frame Mr. Nero from the very beginning. What am I looking at here? Oh, okay, gotcha. Suitcase. The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body up from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? The only way all of these actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Mr. Nero for the murder. Mr. Nero buys a suitcase on every flight she works without fail. But should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, that will put her in a very tight spot. Fortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back into the suitcase. Ergo, they made you, if whoever was at hand had acted their plan, and tried to frame me, as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavour, wouldn't you agree? Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway? That is because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. What special circumstances dictated the need for the killer to frame someone? Where the murder took place, when the murder took place, who the murder victim was, and it was where the murder took place. The special circumstances is simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. No matter which countries, customs is quite strict in this day and age, so no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Mr. Nero or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of the criminal's movements is not Mr. Nero or myself, but you, Miss Cabby-Meal. Only you and you alone could be the killer. And? You done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyway, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence. I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. Isn't there a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? Something that I still can't quite fit into the big picture? Where is it? And which one is it? The missing cell phone. Oh yeah, it's gone from his neck, isn't it? I don't have any actual evidence. I thought not. But that's because it went missing, and still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? In the complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece I kept getting stuck on. And that is the victim's cell phone. Francisca, you were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks' cell phone. Or at least that's what you told me. That's right. Agent Hicks' cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. You mean the killer took the phone with them? Precisely. I suspect that if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the killer. Come on, get serious. If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't his phone break as well? We won't know that until we try a little experiment, will we? Francisca, I'd like to ask for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not? Of course I do. Wow, such a basic ringtone. Agent Hicks' phone. It's ringing from somewhere, sir. I hear it, detective. Now, where is it coming from? Okay, where is it? Oh, we gotta go up the stairs? Damn. March 12th, 4:12 PM, flight I-390, first floor, flight attendant's room. The ring is coming from somewhere in here, sir. It's coming from inside the house. Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. The locker. The ring is coming from somewhere around here. But it's not here, sir. Why do I have such a bad feeling about where we're going to find the phone? Okay, I guess I looked at the wrong one? This one? Oh, there we go. I was looking at the open one. I meant to look at the closed one. On the guide, all it said was, you know, look at the locker. The ring is coming from in here, sir. What? No, it can't be. Is that Miss Tenero's locker? It's got to be the victim's cell phone. Just whose locker is this, sir? It's Miss Tenero's. God damn it. What? I'm losing my voice. I've done so much speaking today. Recording these videos. I'm losing my voice with the ability to go high-pitched. March 12, 4:28 PM, flight I-390, lower deck, cargo hold. So, Miss Edgeworth, how did it go? Can Edgeworth at this moment just lie and say, we found this in your locker, Miss Meal? And Miss Meal can be like, wait, what? No, that's not right. Or, you know, you can't have found it there. And they were like, well, how do you know that, you know, why shouldn't it be in there? Why was it in there? Can you tell us? And it's like, well, Miss Tenero planted it. I don't know. Maybe try and catch her in a lie or something. I don't know. Where did you find the phone? I found it in the flight attendant's room, in Miss Tenero's locker. What? But, Rhoda Tenero, I don't know anything about the phone. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It's on camera, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Tenero right away. Wait, I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the keycard. When the killer went to steal the keycard, they conveniently stashed the cell phone in Mr. Nero's locker at the same time. Objection! This is related to the keycard, alright. In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that. The only voice that sings the truth is evidence. That is the one bird we cannot ignore. What should I do? Francisca's right. I can't offer baseless conjectures at this point. Alright then. Why did the culprit take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? It must have something very incriminating on or in it. Hold it. What now, Miles Edgeworth? It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone. What? Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. We need to examine this phone in more detail. I like how it's the whole thing of like, well, if the it's just something on the phone. Want the killer, you know, taking it? Okay, I don't have anything like, oh, it's X and Y, so which one's that? There we go, oh, so I can zoom in, but I can't twist it. I think it's the camera it says for us to look at. Ah, it's a camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of a smuggling? Francisca, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can it take pictures? Miss Edgeworth, I can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir. This looks like a very similar model to my own. And mine can take photos just fine. Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular pictures as evidence for his smuggling case. If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for our killer smuggler. But the phone's all busted up, sir. Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone. I'll find a way, don't you worry about that. May I go back to sleep now? Objection! The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, that's for sure. But that's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data. Aha! That's what I was thinking. If there's something on it, why didn't the killer, unlock it and delete it? Unless they couldn't unlock it with like a code, but then how are we going to get into the phone to show? Because we don't have the code and we can't hack it right now. But it's just a case of the screen's broken. So just take it, the SD card out, put it in another phone. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's around to you, done. What? What do you mean by that, Francisca? Looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. His phone still rang when I called it, meaning that only the LCD screens are broken. It's possible that the photo is still there inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone. Francisca, your phone if you please. Very well. Wow, my voice was really high then, I wasn't meaning to. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now. This is... Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for his smuggling case. Hey, now the Freds know where they're in this pic, sir. This has no meaning as a piece of evidence in this murder case, right? Ouch, she's right. There's not much we can find out from this about Agent Hicks's killer, sir. Is this it? Is this the end? Is there really nothing in this photo that we can use? Okay. We've got to look at these 4 boxes marked with bees. Not bees, not buzzy bees, the letter B. What's all this? Huh? Oh! They are cargo shipped from Virginia to Zengfar. So the reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in Zengfar. Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me the contents of the boxes? Unfortunately, there's no English written on them anywhere. Ah, one cluster of boxes is written in Borginian. It says... It is cloth in English. God, that messed up my throat just then. Cloth? Could it be? Is this where the killer... What? What for is that scary face? Miss Meal. Yep. It appears that Agent Hicks was no ordinary investigator. He left us with a piece of evidence after all. A striking piece that will point out who his killer is. Ha! Maybe you shouldn't force your mistaken reading of a simple picture, Miss Edgeworth. The Borginian cargo in this piece of evidence will point us straight to the killer. It's the Borginian cloth. And what is that supposed to prove? The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe up the blood they had spilt. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I have finally found my answer in this very photo. The cargo that was unloaded in Zengfar had cloth written on it. In Borginian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece from to clean up the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Borginian. And the only crew member that fits that description is you, Miss Camille. Ha! That's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is in English or Virginian. Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment of the killer's indiscriminate nature. What? There was no need for the killer to tear through boxes at random at all. If the killer supposedly could not comprehend Borginian, well then. Logically, the killer would have opened this box first. Which one? Oh, bedsheets. Ah, bedsheets. There we go, we've completed the case. Hey, it says bedsheets in English right in the box, sir. Precisely. Bedsheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say? So what are you trying to say? If I were the criminal, this box of bedsheets would have been what I would have spotted first. However, the killer chose to use some Borginian cloth. Do you have an explanation for that? The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold. So they were afraid to leave signs that the box of the sheets had been opened. However, the Borginian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different colour. Because the killer knew that it was going to be unloaded in the Republic of Zengfar. That's right. That is why the Borginian cloth was used. And the only Borginian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Chamomile. You and you alone. Gong! It would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All we have to do is contact the Zengfar authorities in no time. We may even find other evidence to incriminate our killer within those boxes. So what do you say, Miss Meal? Why not confess to your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait and see what we find out from our investigation in Zengfar? Is she gonna go psycho bonkers crazy? Look at the teddy bear holding onto his hat. It's alive! Oh, she's saying no. No! I wasn't looking at what she was saying, I was looking at the teddy bear holding onto his hat. He was Interpol. I couldn't stop it. I brought him here. He started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared I was in trouble. Take a bow. March 12th, 5:26 PM, flight I-390, first floor lounge. We finished making all the arrangements to take this suspect in, sir. Very good, detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that? Taking her down to the precincts now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Whenever we even approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. Scary, sir. She probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure, the ring behind this whole mess means serious business. Looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye. Hello, Miss Edgeworth. I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much. It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation. Truly, if it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. I hope that, well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation. That's... I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want it. No, I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer. Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well. And remember, we here at iFly Airlines are always ready to serve, Miss Edgeworth. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Now I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue, no matter where you go. Bye. Love you, Mr. Nero. I can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir, but boy was it fun. Speak for yourself, my day was filled with earthquakes, elevators and false charges. By the way, where's Francisca? Oh, she's filling out some customs paperwork for her departure. Departure? Yeah, Miss Von Kahn was always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding her case. Detective, can you cancel the car I had you reserve earlier? You got it, sir. March 12th, 5:47 PM, Hope Springs Airport. Francisca. I thought I told you when you first landed, I have no time for idle chatter. I have no intention of wasting your time, however, it has been a while since we last met. I also have no time for such familiar reminiscences. Just who do you think I am? You are Francisco von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving of much respect. Until only a little while ago, I was but a wretched mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing Pierrot. Whatever. Living her life on the name and fame her invincible father built. True, your father, Manfred von Karma, didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible. What are you talking about? The group I'm on the trail of is a little more troublesome than most. The smuggling route we found this time is only one sliver of the big picture. Sounds like a dangerous assignment. You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself. Yep, I suppose you can. Plus there is another agent on this case with me. Oh, another agent? He's a star among Interpol agents, and has the highest successful arrest rate. Who knows, you may even run into him one day. Huh? I was simply caught up in this one case. Hardly see why we would cross paths. I suppose, but I doubt he would say the same. I'm not following you. You'll understand soon enough. The fight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back. In full. Bye, sister. And just like that, she's gone, has her? Thank goodness. I can finally rest easy knowing I won't have to watch out for her whip. Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation. Oh, it was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. I think I'm going to celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight. Just how much did you cut his salary by, Francisca? Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office. Sure thing, sir. We'll even fly down the road in the patrol car if you want. Don't make me remind you, Detective, safety first. Thus, I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Francisca von Karma, the smuggling route she was after. The leaders of that ring had already put their trump card into play. And the players on the other side of this war, they would begin to make themselves known through the next incident. Edgeworth speaking. Ah, finally! I called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through. And you are? Ah, have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy? Mr. Armano? Ernest Armano, correct? Ah, so you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. There's been an incident, Miles. My son, he's been kidnapped. The end? Oh, heck. A kidnapping. That's not a good. And a brand new episode has been added. The Kidnapped Turnabout. So, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. Some more Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth. I know they said the wrong way around then. Finally, we got Miss De Niro off the hook. But apparently, she's not that into Edgeworth because he doesn't like her art. And we all know for a fact he's not into her because he's into Phoenix. Gay lawyers! And so next time we're going to be helping a guy called Amano whose son's been kidnapped? I don't recognise the name. Might be an entirely new character because I don't think I recognise the name. Kind of reminded me of, what's his name? Godot. What's his real name? Diego Armando? Kind of reminded me of him. But anyway, that's it for Turnabout Airlines. Crap, I didn't see what it said for the next case was called, but we'll get to that next time. So, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.